Hey, if you run a service business, I bet you know this feeling. You're working harder than you ever have before, but you just don't feel like you're getting ahead. You're stuck on that hamster wheel. Well, today, we're going to break down exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how you can escape what we call the busy trap for good. All right, let's just dive right into the question that's probably keeping you up at night. Why on earth does working harder just seem to keep you stuck in the same place? It's a super frustrating paradox, right? But you're not imagining it. There's a name for this, and it's called the busy trap. So, first things first, let's put a name to this chaos. Because once we understand what the busy trap actually is, we can start to figure out how to dismantle it, piece by piece. Okay, so here's the thing about the busy trap. It's not just about having a long to-do list. It's a vicious cycle. You get so buried in all the small stuff, answering calls, chasing up quotes, putting out fires, that when a truly golden opportunity comes along, you literally don't have the time or the energy to grab it. All your effort is just going into motion, not actual forward progress. And here's the kicker. This isn't happening in a vacuum. While you've got your head down, buried in paperwork, or out on the tools, your competitors, the ones who seem way less stressed, they're the ones scooping up all the best clients. And it's not because they're working harder than you, it's because they're working smarter. And this whole hustle harder mindset, it's not free. It comes with a very real and often kind of hidden cost. So let's take a look at the true price you pay for being constantly busy. This slide just breaks it down perfectly. You think you're getting ahead on paperwork, but what's actually happening? You're missing time with your family and you're burning out. You think you're saving money by doing everything yourself, but really you're creating a massive bottleneck where nothing moves forward unless you're involved. It's a perfect example of the gap between what we intend to do and the reality of the daily grind. And look, this is the hard truth right here. Being busy is not the same thing as being productive. Activity does not equal achievement. Answering 10 phone calls from tire kickers, well, that's being busy. Landing one perfect, high-profit job, now that is being productive. We've all been told that being available 24/7 is the sign of a true professional, right? But the reality is, when every single inquiry, every decision, and every problem has to run through you, your business can never, ever grow beyond what you can personally handle. You haven't built the business. You've just built yourself a much more demanding job. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's start talking about the solution, because there is a smart alternative to all this chaos, and it's not about hiring a huge team. It's about using technology, specifically using AI as a growth engine for your business. This slide just lays out the two paths so clearly, doesn't it? The old way. That's you manually chasing everything, being personally always on, and becoming that bottleneck we talked about. But the smart way, that's where your systems are always working for you, with automated responses, creating a business that can actually scale without burning you out. I want you to think of it like this. AI becomes your perfect, invisible business partner. It never gets tired, it never takes a break, and it handles all of that repetitive grunt work. It responds to people instantly. It filters out the time wasters. It books the real qualified prospects right into your calendar, and it even handles all the follow-ups, so you can focus on the work that actually makes you money. So this all sounds great in theory, right? But how does it actually change the game in the real world? Let's get into the hard numbers and see the tangible impact this kind of shift can have. Let's start with just one single powerful number, 78%. Just let that sink in for a second. What does that mean for your business? It means this: nearly 8 out of 10 customers will hire the very first business that gets back to them. Speed isn't just a nice to have anymore. It is the single biggest factor in winning new work. So while you're up on a ladder trying to call someone back, your competitor who's using AI has already booked the job. Okay, now for another number, and this one's going to hit your wallet directly: $2,000. That's right. Every single time your phone rings and you can't pick it up, you're not just missing a call, you're potentially losing $2,000 in revenue. Now, when you start adding that up over a week or a month, the cost of being the bottleneck is just staggering. So the path forward is all about moving from that state of constant chaos to a state of calm control. And the really good news is it's not some giant leap you have to take. It's a series of clear, manageable stages. This slide shows you that journey from total chaos to finally being in control. Most business owners are stuck right here, in stage 1 or 2, just overwhelmed and constantly reacting. But as you start to implement smart systems, you move to organized. Then, as AI begins to qualify leads for you, you become proactive, focusing only on the best jobs. And that final stage, in control, that's where your business grows automatically, without demanding all of your time and energy.
And that really brings us to the whole point, doesn't it? I mean, why did you start this business in the first place? It was for freedom, right? The freedom to be your own boss, to build something amazing, to provide for your family. Your business should be the vehicle that gets you that freedom, not the cage that keeps you from it.
So, at the end of the day, the choice is yours. You can keep grinding harder, which we now know only leads to more burnout and more missed opportunities. Or you can embrace the alternative. Are you ready to stop just being busy and start building a smarter, more profitable, and ultimately a more freeing business?